Hi, I'm Jeff Nennig. I'm the Director of Technology for Menominee Falls School District, and I want to welcome you to the school district. And our technology department is awesome. We are here to help you and to make sure things work. Today you're going to be hearing from our group, members of our group, all the members actually, and they're going to tell a little bit about how you can get help and you get to know them a little bit. So again, welcome, and we're glad you're here.
Hi, I'm Cody Jackman. I've been with the school district, 7 or 8 years here. Mostly at the high school, supporting the student devices. Now I'm supporting North in general and half the elementaries. Justin will take the other half for the elementaries for Chromebooks. For me, that would be Valley View, Shady Lane, and also North, of course.
Hi, I'm Mark Schneider. I'm a field tech here in the district. I've been here for 12 years. I was fired 11 years and a few months after that, but I still show up anyway. I do all the work for the elementary schools. I've been in the computer business for 35 years. I'm one of the dorks that I'm available 24/7 to you. So you guys, if you can't get access to help through our regular Sherpa system, you can call me or text me, and I can get you to the right people who can help you after hours.
I'm Justin Potts. I've been working here, just started over the summer, going on my first year here. I've been working in IT for about 6 years, been interested in computers my whole life. I'll be working here at the high school mostly. I'll also be supporting Ben Franklin right down the road and Riverside Elementary Schools.
So, thanks guys for introducing yourself. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys actually do, what the purpose is. Mark, why don't you just what does this group typically do to support the teachers?
Yeah, we're your field tech team. So we're kind of your power trio. If there's an issue in a classroom, we're the ones that you're going to see that are going to come into the classroom and fix what needs to get going. So basically, we're going to make your classroom functional as far as technology, so that you can teach and the students can learn.
Great. And then what about what types of things would we see in a classroom, Cody, typically in each of the classrooms?
Well, the classrooms will usually have either a projector or TV that you're going to be using for instruction. Audio setups can vary, but we're working on that. Doc cams, Chromebooks for every student, of course, and then you'll have your own laptop, a touch laptop that you can use wirelessly.
Great, thank you. And if they need help, what's the best way to get help, the most efficient way to get help? Justin, what system should they be using to get help?
Yeah, we have a ticket system. Sherpa is our ticketing system. We'll show you how to use that. You can go online and submit a ticket to us. It'll get routed to the right technician and come out to fix the issue.
Great. So yeah, I guess avoid using email. There's so much email coming across, it may get lost. The most efficient way is that ticket Sherpa Desk system, which is, there's a link on the website for that under staff.
Jeff makes a great point. I have emailed from 12 years ago that's on an old server that I still have not replied to. Yes, Sherpa's awesome because we see that 12 times a day.
And then there's one other thing in classrooms. Typically there's a white box up on the ceiling. Mark, tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. It's funny how things have changed over the years. So the whole school is wireless. So every room has a little UFO-shaped square thing on the ceiling. That's your access point that handles all the wireless in the building. So that should have a blue light on it that indicates that things are connected to it. If there's a green light, that means there's power to it, but no technology is connected to it. If there is no light or it's a flashing light, that's definitely a problem where you would enter a Sherpa.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. And we'll be back with another group.
Hi, I'm John Wallace. I'm Network Administrator Been with the district. I was 14 years as a consultant and I think 11 or 12 years as an employee. Just working on servers and infrastructure.
I'm Katie Welke. I'm also a network administrator with John. I've been with the district for 7 years. Again, a lot of the back end stuff that we set up, access points for your wireless, your username and password, the servers, is what we all support.
My name is Kara Hostetler. I've been with the district for 3 years. I'm the information support specialist. One of my jobs is a power school system administrator and DPI reporting.
Great. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys, how you help support the staff. I know that you've already talked with many of the staff, the new staff, around getting their logins and passwords, but tell us about what changes they can see with passwords, how often that's going to, do we change them, and how does that work?
Sure. So your password is going to be a generic password when you first start with the district. It'll be on a sheet for you guys, so you'll have that information. When you first log into a Windows-based machine, you cannot do this on a Chromebook, it's going to ask you to change your password. We ask that you please change it from the generic. It does need to be 12 characters at this point with a capital and a number in it. That's going to change your password specifically for logging into the computer, for logging into Google, for Schoology, your email. So that password is going to follow. There's also going to be a password for Skyward and for PowerSchool. Unfortunately, that password won't follow. You can make it the same if you like, but that password is going to be different than your login. Your password is going to change every 90 days for these systems. So it's going to prompt you when you log in. If it's been 90 days, it's going to prompt you to change your password for those. Again, it may become longer, that it might have to be 14 characters, but it will let you know how long that character needs to be for your password.
When we talk about passwords with like Power Teacher, what should they know about changing that particular password? I think does it ask for the old password on that one, or how does that work?
It does. You always have to remember your old password before you can change it to your new password. So, for example, if your password right now is the false and you get a prompt 90 days to change your password, you have to remember your old password, put the false in first, and then the new password that you would like, it will prompt you to do that for all of our systems, actually.
Great. So, what about we have the network? John, kind of just give us a very broad overview of what the network connections are between buildings and what's available for connectivity.
Well, we have fiber running between all of our buildings, so we have a fast 10 gig fiber link between our buildings. Everything comes back to the high school, so you can pretty much log in anywhere in the district and you'll be connected to your resources. We have wireless access points throughout the district. Wi-Fi works the same in every building, so you'll be able to connect in any of our buildings.
Great, thanks. And then, what about like if they're at home, Katie? Are people able to connect to the school district when they're at home?
Sure, absolutely. So you can connect to the school district when you're at home. We have what's called our G and H drives. G drive is going to be kind of where you can share as staff many resources like Word documents that everyone would be able to see. And then you have what's called your H drive, and that's your personal drive that you can put any information you want. We ask that you use that and not the desktop because we back up your H drive. If you want those resources at home, the G and H drive, we have what's called a VPN that you would connect to. And then once you're connected to that VPN, you'll have access to those G and H drives at home.
Teachers are using the gradebook. What is the gradebook, first of all?
The gradebook is called Power Teacher Pro.
Power Teacher Pro, can they access that from home as well?
Yes, they can. You could either VPN in, or you could go to fallschools.org, click on staff, and you can choose Power Teacher, and you can log right in like you do if you were in your classroom.
Okay. Thanks. And then Katie, talk a little bit about the phones that are, you work with the phones that are in classrooms. How does that work?
So most phones throughout the district will be specific building number in front of it. Like for example, the high school is 6, and most of them are the room number. So if you're in room 250, your phone number would be 6250. If you're not specifically in a room, that may change. Every teacher will have a voicemail box that it will go to. Educational assistants and others don't have voicemails just because they're shared phones, but every teacher will have a password that they would log in to get their voicemails if they need their voicemail.
John, I see you have a badge on. I think those are used for, like, if they want to print, how does that, would they use the white badge there, or what is?
Yes, we have a RICO system throughout the district for printing. When you log into a Windows machine, there'll be a RICO printer set up as probably as your default printer. You'll be able to print to that, and then when you go to a copy machine, you swipe your badge and release your print job. And you can go to any building in the district with the RICO copiers and release the print jobs from any copier.
We're also a Google district as well. We do have, you will have access, I believe, as staff to Office and so students' Office products as well from Microsoft. But can you talk a little bit about the Google system and the email that's actually their students would have or the teachers would have, and how it connects to Outlook, because we also use Outlook. Why are we using all these and how do they connect?
Sure. So as a staff member, you're going to have essentially two different emails. One that's going to be your 43@sdmfschools.org. That's your main email address. And then we're going to have a Google address, and that's going to get you into your Google Docs, your Google emails, and that's going to be your 43@menominee-falls-schools.org. Students use that, specifically that email, that at Menominee Falls Schools, so you're able to actually email them. Students cannot get external emails, so if it's not from an @sdmfschools.org email or @menominee-falls-schools.org, they can't receive emails. So it's just those internal addresses. Google specifically, we are a Chromebook district, so students are all using Chromebooks and saving and uploading to Google Drive. So that's how they're able to share their information with you. So pretty much all students are utilizing Google for their Drive and for sharing purposes with you.
Now, John, all the information that's saved on the network, can you talk about that? Like, what would happen if somebody deletes something by accident, or in the G Drive, since it's shared and other people can see the documents? How can people get that back, or is it just gone, or how does that work?
Yeah, all of our files on your home drive and the G shared drive are backed up daily. We have multiple levels of backups. So anything that's deleted, we typically can recover. We have to retain all of our data because it's public record for 7 years. So in essence, anything you delete, as long as it hasn't only been there for a few hours, we should be able to recover for you.
And what about email? Katie, can you talk about how email, if somebody deletes email, does that work the same way, or how does that work?
Yep, so we also have a system that's monitoring email too, so if you lose an email, we're potentially able to get it back for you, or at least get the content back for you. Anything you do with an email is open for open records, so just make sure when you're emailing, make sure you understand that those emails can be seen if someone does an open records request.
Right, so everybody's a public employee, so there's potential that people could ask for those emails. Now, even if you get an email and you delete it right away, or if you send it and delete it right away, does that make any differences? Or where does it? What's that chain of how it actually is recorded?
So any email that's going into the district and out of the district from both email accounts, your SDMFschools.org and your MenomineeFallsSchools.org, is tracked right away. So there's a back-end server that's tracking it. So if you delete it, it doesn't delete off that server. It's there forever.
Okay, so sometimes it's best just to walk down the hall or to not send an email. If you're if you need more clarification, it's probably best just in a lot of cases, especially if it's upsetting to you, to just walk down the hall and talk to the person, or to call them on the phone and have a discussion or something like that. So I always say you don't want to, whatever you write, you don't want to, it could end up on the front page of the newspaper. So there's really no way around it, and we're obligated by law to collect that information. What about for students' emails? Katie, you want to finish up with the email on that? Is it an open system, a closed system, and maybe tell what that means?
Yep, so it is a closed system for students. So again, any external email, so if I were to email them from my personal one, katiewelke@gmail.com, if I were to email a student to their Menominee Falls from my Gmail at home, that student will not get that email. So they can only receive emails from an email coming from at sdmfschools.org or at menominee-falls-schools.org.
And that would be for elementary and middle school. And then John, what about the high school?
The high school we have opened up so they're able to receive external emails and send external emails, mainly for college contacts, for registering for different webinars or websites and that.
And the last thing, I guess, maybe is the use of the computer. We want to talk about that, Kara, as far as how people should be using their computer, work versus personal, or anything related to that.
I would recommend only using your computer for work purposes because, again, we're subject to open record laws. So anything that's on there, people could look at request for in an open records request. So keep your work computer for work and your home computer for personal.
Right. I just did think one more thing. If people, if they want to use their phones in the schools, are they able to connect on, instead of using their cell data, are they able to use Wi-Fi to connect in for teachers and students, or how does that work?
Sure. So our Wi-Fi system is a closed Wi-Fi, so students aren't able to get on with their personal devices. So if they come in with their phone, only their school Chromebook is going to connect. We do not connect any other devices for students unless there's a need. If they're using specifically a different device for a specific reason, then we would connect it to our Wi-Fi. As far as staff, absolutely we can connect your cell phones. Some people actually sometimes have an iPad too. We can connect your cell phone so you're not using data. A lot of our schools are dead spots, so you actually probably may not even get cell service. All you need to do is open up a Sherpa ticket, and one of the techs will come out and get your phone all connected. We don't give out our Wi-Fi passwords, so most of the time you won't even see anything broadcasting. Sometimes you'll see a vendor one broadcasting, but that information, basically we take what's called a MAC address off your phone and connect you that way, so students aren't able to connect and kind of drag our bandwidth down a little bit. So.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all the information. I hope it's helpful.